You are listening to the Primetime Podcast with your hosts, Bryant Chisel and Jake Jorgensen. Hello, everybody. We are back with another weekly rewind. Week 7 this time is in the books. We are flying through this year. I'm here with Jake. I got to introduce you quick because I got to ask you, Jake, does it feel like we're flying for you too?
It definitely does. I was about to say the exact same thing right before you said it. The season's going by real fast.
I think, are we officially halfway through the fantasy season? Is
Let's
14
think
the
here.
last week? It is.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
15, 16, 17. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, I just realized I'm not sharing my screen with you, Jake. Here, let me display this for you.
Appreciate it.
People on the show, they always get to see, but
Luckily, even before halfway through the regular season of fantasy, we have some teams that we pressed the dead button for already. So
yeah, that's true.
we're always ahead. We're always ahead on that.
And I'm sure you saw, it's the trades picked up mightily
Oh yeah.
this week, which I think indicates some
I've been
teams
part of a couple this year.
declaring
Yeah.
death.
It's been a lot of trades this year. Yeah.
We always see a few, but especially this past week, there was a lot, which usually doesn't happen until teams are kind of declaring themselves dead, which, at this point in the season is very possible for a handful of these teams.
I think people are starting to realize that in previous seasons, it's tough to get those like trades in at the deadline.
It is.
And it's kind of worth reaching out as like super early. Although it is interesting because, and I'll talk about the trade that I was a part of, but some teams that are making moves to win now may not, continue that way the rest of the season. And some teams that are thinking that they're dead and trading away people, maybe not the best move. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
It
But
could be a little early
luckily,
for some guys. I agree.
even outside of the trades that we're seeing in the chat, which for some reason I don't think anybody gets alerted to still from the
Yeah.
iWeb, which really sucks, which is a bummer. But luckily, at least for me, I see a lot of the trade negotiations and hear about trade negotiations from people, which is funny enough. Entertaining enough, yeah.
I've heard that from you and Brandon and maybe someone else too, that they don't get notifications on the trades. Obviously I do because I'm commish, so I get the notifications that I have to approve the trade. I will try to make a point to, when I'm approving trades, to drop something in the chat for it, so hopefully the people can be aware, because
Sweet.
You're right. I would like for people to see it because it's good to get the conversation going, and this might be the only time people find out about the trades, or if for whatever reason they hate fun and entertainment and they don't listen to the show, well then they might not ever hear about it until they're matched up against it and you say, hold on, when did Greg lose Jamar Chase?
Yeah, luckily Greg's fast on changing his team name.
Yes.
And then they might see through that, but if they don't, throw some alert emojis in the chat with some blockbuster trades that happen, especially if they're very minimal trades.
Yeah.
And people are like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
But no, there's been some good ones. The last couple weeks. So
I suppose I did neglect to mention this in my haste at the beginning. We are guestless today. We had a couple unfortunate dropouts at the buzzer. Get well soon, Cade. He's dealing with some illness.
Yes. Get well soon.
Yep. And yeah, let's just carry on, I guess. We're fine without him, Jake. The guests are really only here for the predictions, let's be honest. Those guys don't know ball. Actually, I will modify that statement. Nick B knows ball. I hope you listen to this, Nick, because I always enjoy when you're on the
guests
show.
They just know ball about the previous week. We don't know how good they do in the next week.
George knows about as much ball as Brianna when she's on the show, so Brianna low-key knows ball.
Respect.
So yeah. All right, let's get into it. Matchups this past week. The game of the week is not first. Jake, Oh, I'm doing this wrong. Oh, I'm all discombobulated. I don't have my guest. It's Preston and Lane. Oh, geez. Uh, you know, it's probably a good thing for Lane that this was a tougher week for him because there's no way he's beating Preston with 181 points. That's very
Yeah,
nicely done, Manthai. Mahomes continues to dominate. Rashee Rice is back, Jake. I know you're excited about that.
very excited about that.
He
Yeah,
he looked good. They made it a point to feed him the ball. Travis Kelsey might be dead. Xavier Worthy might not be that relevant. He'll be okay, right? He's a flex guy to me going forward. But yeah, the Chiefs are, they're not the Chiefs of the past couple of years where everybody hates watching them win because their offense stinks and they don't play attractive football and it feels like they get bailed out by the refs. This year, it's been a little different, and I think it'll continue to be like that. It's back to the Chiefs of old, the exciting, explosive Chiefs. I like watching that. It's okay if they. I'm not mad that they win. I'm mad that they win the way they do. And now we're back. So, Chiefs fans, good for you.
yeah. I have to agree with you. They are a little bit more exciting. Maybe it's just that I've got some receivers now in fantasy finally, but and Mahomes actually looks like the best quarterback in the league, and it's been a while since we could say that. Like we
Yeah,
knew he kind of got the Brady treatment where everyone knew that in the playoffs you're just going to bump him back up to the number one spot, but in the regular season they weren't necessarily the MVP caliber players.
I
And
agree.
yeah, this game, like you said, Rashee Rice first game back, he looked great, and it was a game that was like just completely dominated by the Chiefs too. So he
Oh
didn't
yeah,
have to do anything in the second half. So we haven't even seen that like a full game of getting him the
true.
ball, but they did make an effort to get him involved like as early as possible. Um, I
Yeah,
missed like part of that game, and Brandon said that they drew something up for like I forgot what it was, but I think it was like a 2 yard. I actually don't, I should have seen the highlight to be honest with you, but they just got him the ball as much as they could,
yeah,
and that's all you can ask for. All I want is some receivers that actually get targeted, so
yeah. No
that's fun.
kidding. Yeah, they definitely were feeding him early in the first quarter. He had I can remember two. I think he might have had 3 catches even in the first quarter.
I think
It
so, yeah.
felt like he was cooking. Um, Rest of Preston's team, almost all of it was awesome. Devontae Adams with no Puka had 3 touchdowns. He's the red zone monster. I saw some classic, Aaron Rodgers-esque Devontae Adams touchdowns. The fadeaway to the corner of the end zone from Stafford. Good to see if you're Preston. As long as Puka's out, Devontae should be a top 12 guy. No questions asked. Jordan,
Yeah,
go
this
ahead.
is the first week that he's playing Devontae Adams. We'll talk about trades and everything, but that he was just sent over for my team right before this one, and I think Preston originally was not excited about having two Rams, but I don't see why you wouldn't start. Like looking at his lineup's good, but there's no way I would be mad about starting Devontae and Puka on
I
the same
agree.
team. Like you're gonna get like your 40 points combined from them somehow anyway, whether it's 30 from Puka or whatever, vice versa.
That's
But
true. Yeah, you're
this
not
lineup
wrong.
looks to me it looks a lot better once you get Puka back in there. But this is a really really strong lineup, and I respect that
It
Preston's kind of
is.
going all in now. I think he's got picks 1 through 6 gone, so
Yeah.
this is the year for him if it happens.
And especially the way Jordan Addison's been playing too. I mean, ever since he's been back, he has not had a bad game. Even that week that
No,
he was on a snap count, he missed the entire first quarter or first half or something because of disciplinary stuff. I think that was the Pittsburgh game. Then he caught that big long catch at the end. I don't remember if it was a touchdown, but he might have set up a touchdown or a field goal to go ahead or win or whatever. I don't remember. But Jordan Addison has been a monster. Dare I say he's been better than Justin Jefferson. George, if you're listening, I apologize, but it's the
ooh,
truth. I mean, it's true.
yeah,
Not
no, he's
necessarily
been
on
really
the
good.
field, but for fantasy, I don't know.
Yeah, everything went right for Preston this week.
Yeah,
Even Josh Jacobs like game time decision starting. I thought, well, maybe they would have announced it on Saturday. I can't remember anymore, but it was like
I
I wasn't sure if he was going to
mhm.
play or not, and he's still Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Saturday or something. I think it was Sunday morning. I think they announced it. I think it was
I think that
technically
sounds
a
right.
game time decision, even though I was fairly confident. But he was definitely on snap count. He was definitely hurting.
Yeah,
You could tell when he wasn't on the field, man. We didn't look nearly as good. So, and Jonathan Taylor continued his dominance, 3 touchdowns again. That's the
yeah.
third time
Jeez.
this year, man. That's insane. And he's a monster. Wow. JT's
We
a
do have.
dog.
He is an absolute. Yeah, he's an animal. Uh, I'll let you keep going. I was gonna say that we got to check on somebody on Lane's bench over there in a minute after we look at the
Oh,
rest of Preston's team.
yeah. Brees Hall is the only disappointment, really. I'm worried about the Jets. They're so bad that, Brees Hall you can play against Cincinnati next week because it's Cincinnati, but I don't know. I'm nervous about him. I believe I
Yeah.
heard they're starting Tyrod Taylor this week.
What did you hear about the clip that Woody Johnson that came out from Woody Johnson the other day?
Yeah, you said something about how what was it?
Yeah, it was just like they were
It's a
trying to
quarterback
talk
thing,
about
right?
how they're like talking about Aaron Glenn and whether he's been meeting expectations as the new head coach, and he's like, "Well, it's really hard to have any success with your quarterback rate having a rating as low as he does." And it's
That's what
like
it was.
he's like, "Look around the league at people who have quarterbacks that are this bad. You're not going to be successful." Or something. It wasn't exactly worded
He
like that,
blamed
but
it
that's
all
pretty
on
much what it was.
Fields,
It's
which
all on Justin
Fields
Fields.
hasn't played. He hasn't been playing good football, but all I'm saying is Aaron Rodgers was on that team last year, and he looked like ass.
It's a miracle that I mean, think about what would have happened if that came out with Aaron Rodgers as a starting quarterback.
Oh God, dude.
That would be like the biggest story in NFL in years.
Yeah, I mean he's not entirely wrong that Justin Fields has definitely been playing really bad football, but also the Jets as a roster are just bad, dude. And they're without Garrett Wilson. I mean, what do you want? Yeah, it's brutal there. It's brutal. Jake Bates and LA defense, very cool. Lane side of the ball was kind of the opposite. Jordan Love was disappointing, very very disappointing. Amon Ra was good and is always good, it seems. Worthy, we talked about a bit. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet both kind of stink in terms of fantasy. I mean, 66 yards and nothing else. They need a touchdown, otherwise they're not going to be happy. And it's Houston's defense, and Houston has a great defense, but still. I mean, Kenneth Walker's on bye this week, and maybe you're better off for it, man. Jalen Warren's been great. Zach Ertz continues to be a dog. Stephon Diggs, solid. And there we go. Jake, let's get to what you were alluding to earlier.
Yeah.
So the Eagles can't run the ball. Saquon has been really bad this year. And because of that, I guess they've decided they're going to throw the football a bunch. AJ Brown had a good week. Devontae Smith had a good week, huh?
Devontae, I've never seen this is like I'm pretty sure Devontae Smith won the was it the Blitnikoffs at the wide receiver award in college? Like he
Oh,
was
yeah. Yep.
incredible out from Alabama,
Yeah,
and people thought he was. And the biggest knock on him has just been his team just doesn't pass the ball, and it's by design. And they don't have to pass the ball to win games. I think Nick Sirianni's
right.
in the top like 5 in win percentage for any coach like in NFL history with whatever the minimum is for how
Yeah,
many
for
games they have to
games.
coach.
Sure.
Like they obviously have proven they don't need to pass the ball, and you've got AJ Brown and you've got Goddard. It just doesn't make sense for them to have to force the ball to Devontae Smith. But this game, he looked like a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Like he
Yeah.
was, and Jalen Hurts I think had like perfect quarterback rating. It's against Minnesota's defense too. I don't know. It's going to be impossible to decide when to start. I guess when you have like Diggs in the flex, you can throw him in there, but it's going to be tough for Marvin Harrison Jr. to make any starting lineup for Lane now. Now that you've
I
seen
agree.
Devontae Smith put up nearly 40 points.
I think if it were me, I'd probably have Xavier Worthy on my bench going forward, unless something happened in Kansas City in that room. I don't know if he'll be okay, right? But I don't think it's in his range of outcomes to have a game that Devonta Smith just had. And while I don't expect that frequently, or potentially again this year, Devonta Smith can absolutely just have a ton of fantasy points as he showed this past week. And if the Eagles are going to keep throwing the ball at the rate they are because they can't run the football, I mean, you can expect some level of consistency from them, I would think. I mean, you're right. They have a lot of mouths to feed, and a lot of them are great, right? Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown are both A1 wide receivers as far as talent goes. They're awesome.
Hmm.
Dallas Goedert is a very solid tight end. And even Saquon's great catching the ball in the backfield. Not that they use him in that way. But yeah, I think I'd probably be trying to chase those points going forward. I don't know. I mean, you have
Yeah.
Derrick Henry in the bench too, who'll be back, so can't really bench him. I guess he goes in for Kenneth Walker and you call it a day.
And before this game, Eagles fans were like wanting a new offensive coordinator, and probably like I don't think they're really calling for that anymore. But just with the running game not working, they want the new offensive coordinator somehow. Like I don't know what's going on in Philly, but
Yeah.
I'm super pumped for our matchup against them. Now our defenses fell off a lot, other than Micah Parsons getting 3 sacks last week, which was fun, but that kind of misled anyone that didn't
Mhm.
watch the game. Our defense did not look did not look good.
Oh yes, that is
So we'll
correct.
see what happens. I can still remember the screenshot that gets shared with Jalen Hurts having like 30 feet of separation between any Packer defensive lineman that's rushing faster. Shouldn't be exactly like that, but yeah, we got to be careful here with Devontae Smith, among others.
Ain't that the truth? All right, next up is ours. Believe it or not, Jake. You didn't blow me out of the water, but I guess it's enough. You should have probably blown me out of the water, but JMO goosed.
Yeah,
That's tough. You want to talk
yeah.
about that?
This I don't want to talk about JMO goosing, but no, I did already kind of tee up the fact that this would have been if I didn't trade Devontae, this would have been the first week where CD Lamb's back. So then I would have get to start the big three. Now the big three's never going to happen apparently because I guess I can't call Jameson in the big three right now with how he's been this year. But yeah, once Jamar Chase had his Jamar Chase game finally,
Yeah,
and
screw you, Greg.
it felt like this was going to be a win, like I had been projected to win since that point, pretty much. And it wasn't a complete game in any regard, but it's been a while.
You got the job
It was
done.
an actual game. Yeah, the running backs fell off. Bill, I didn't even watch the
No,
Cowboys
it was not
game,
good.
but yeah, I don't know what's happening with Bill,
You
but the
don't want to
Commanders are
start
pretty
him.
much dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially with no Jaden Daniels, dude. That was the
Could,
hardest part for
yeah.
me, man. He left the game. I don't know. It was probably around halftime or so. Having a great game. I think he was live projected for like 25 points when he went out, and well, that would have gone a long ways in this one. To
Hmm.
finish this off. I mean, you want that matchup against Dallas, man. He was lighting them up, and I think Mariota was a top 10 quarterback on the week, and he played half a game of football.
Yeah, he's been good.
Yeah,
Like
I'd like to think that would have been Jaden Daniels' points, Jake.
maybe you have the Marcus Mariota handcuff moving forward. I'm gonna use that when I text Preston if
Well,
Lamar does
roast.
end up playing
Oh,
because
that's
I
funny.
I wasn't 100% keeping track of that, but now it looks like Lamar's gonna play for
You
sure.
think
Like he's
so?
practicing today.
Okay.
I would just want Manti to have to deal
Yeah,
with not having a quarterback because that would be fun in
that would be
Dynasty. But
incredible.
no, yeah, your team didn't even do bad at all. Like talk about the injury,
It was fine.
probably
Yeah.
would have been close. Would
London,
have been really close,
London and
but
BTJ were both pretty bad. Atlanta on the road this year has been a totally different story than Atlanta at home. So figuring things out there. But BTJ got banged up in that game too. I think he left at one point. Yeah, wasn't super good. I think he did leave because I think that was when Travis Hunter started cooking was when BTJ left.
oh my god, I was so pumped.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch that one, and I just saw that he had like 14 targets. And I was, what the hell happened? So anytime I watched, he had like 4 or 5 targets seemingly,
Yeah, he had a good
and they
week.
decided now this game was over in the first quarter, I think.
It
But
was.
who cares?
Yep.
It doesn't matter in fantasy.
Poor Jaguars.
A lot of elite fantasy wide receivers played for some pretty crappy teams. Sorry,
Correct.
Lane.
Yeah, no, you would agree. I was happy with Rico Dowdle's performance. I was really scared, and 10 points against the Jets. I'm okay with that. Chase Brown, same thing, 15, very solid. Tyler Warren's a dog, and Chris Olave finally had a crazy good game. This might be. I'm not joking when I say this. This might be a career high for Chris Olave in fantasy points.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I'll
But
see if I can fact check that, but I'm almost positive that I heard a stat about him in the offseason that he has never had more than 20 fantasy points in a game.
that doesn't sound right at all to me. But
I'll
maybe
fact check. I could be thinking
maybe
of
it's
somebody else,
close.
but I'm
Maybe
pretty
it's really
sure.
close.
Yeah. I'll
I just
verify.
know the only reason I say that is I had Chris Olave in the Dynasty League back in the day, and I remember his rookie year, he was pretty good.
He was solid, right?
I would have guessed he would have
Or
had a
was he
20
ever
point game,
elite?
but I don't know. Well, when you're above average as a rookie, you might as well be elite if you're talking dynasty. There's a lot of excitement around that. Now, Chris Olave hasn't lived up to that yet, but this is old Chris Olave. Love it.
This is a career high for him in fantasy points in full PPR.
Wow.
Well, not by much, though. I think the stat I heard might have been half PPR because his career high is 24.7 his rookie year, week 3 against Carolina before this. So there you have it. Fact of the day. Chris Olave,
Nice.
elite.
Elite.
So Herbert on my bench was kind of tough to see because if I would have started him, I would have won. But yeah, win some, you lose some.
You basically predicted that the Colts are good.
Yeah.
And they were going to win that game, and that Herbert. It's just tough. Yeah. I haven't really. Yeah, I don't know how good the Colts defense is.
Pretty good.
Obviously, Herbert got his points, but yeah, I would have started Daniels too. Obviously,
Yeah, can't predict the
it's
injury.
unfortunate.
So Woody Marks, my trade from George, had a pretty good week. Love to see that. Dude had like no rushing yards. He had what was it? He had double-digit carries. Yeah, 10 carries for 15 yards. He's a monster. And on your team, I mean, yeah, the studs did the stud things, and everybody else kind of didn't. Jamo's the only one that really killed you. Bill was pretty bad, and Hurts, Chase, and CD both popped off.
Matthew Golden's still passing the eye test, but just not
Yeah,
fantasy relevance somehow. Just
I
like
agree.
I don't want to jinx it, but he's catching everything that goes his way if it's a decent pass, and
Yeah.
you like at the end of the game, like he surely had like 10 to 12 points, right?
You would think
No,
so.
no, no. And
Yeah.
I heard that today that Christian Watson is going to be back this week, probably,
I think he
which I
has
did
to
not
be, right?
expect.
Isn't this week 3 of his designated to return on the pup?
I thought last or next week is the last one, but maybe not.
Oh,
I could be wrong on that. If
either way.
that is true, then that makes a lot of sense.
I'm pretty
But
sure this is the 3rd week. I could be wrong, but
there
pretty
is a
sure.
world where Christian Watson being back opens up Golden a little more.
Yeah.
There's a world.
Well, it
We'll have to see it.
might result in Golden running fewer of those stretch the field routes and more possession routes, which could be good for him for fantasy. Because he's great with the ball in his hands, and he's been catching the football plenty. He hasn't been able to connect on those 9 routes with Love. So if he's not running as many of those, I mean, obviously he'll still run one every now and then, right? He's electric and explosive. But if he's running, slants and screens and just sweeps while Christian Watson takes top off, that could be pretty valuable.
What doesn't make sense to me is the amount of times we're inside the 10, we're at like the 6-yard line, and he's just not been targeted. It seems like I swear in the preseason we saw it a couple times. And it seemed like he was just going to be the guy, but yeah, it is because he's small, I guess. I don't know. It's just Josh. It's half of it is Josh Jacobs. Like,
yeah,
we might as well just keep running the ball. That's
hits all
part
the
of the problem. Yeah. So I can't really be mad about that, but it just seems like he should be in play more there. And I cannot believe I would never have guessed that we'd be halfway through the fantasy season and he doesn't have a touchdown yet.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Nick and Lemons. Oh, GG, by the way, Jake. Congrats on the win.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad that I decided not to go against myself in the prediction after I finally made it that I could do that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Good for you, man.
Thanks.
Nick and Lemons. This was a great matchup, but I just want to give myself some props for the matchup of the week here. This was a good pull.
Yeah.
Justin Fields was disgustingly bad, and George Kittle was disgustingly bad coming back from the injury. Without that, Nick wins this game pretty easily. If George Kittle stayed out for one more week, he would have won this because Jake Ferguson had a huge game on his bench. And Justin Fields,
Yeah,
well,
true.
he played because Josh Allen was on bye, and I don't blame him. Carolina's a pretty juicy matchup, all things considered. Yeah, Justin Fields is done, man. I don't think he's going to start in the NFL anymore. Don't know what to say about that. But rest of it, George Pickens, good game. This is kind of what you expect with CD back, right? It's solid, not going to kill you, but you're hoping for that touchdown, and all of a sudden he has a good game. I think you're gonna live and die with that. Lab McConkey seems to have cemented himself as that guy again. Good for him. DeAndre Swift, I I don't really understand. He's not
No
good,
one does.
right? But the volume. Him and Manungai both had good weeks this week. Yeah,
Ben Johnson effect, apparently. They did beef up the offensive line, but yeah, I guess that combined with what playing the Saints does to someone.
that's a good point. And Emeka Igbuka, or as Gronk likes to say, Emeka Igbigbu.
Big boo, yeah.
um, was somewhat disappointing. I mean, this was his first week back from injury. Mike Evans broke his collarbone in this game, so you're hoping that he's kind of the guy. But yeah, he's. I don't think he was quite healthy. And honestly, the Bucks just looked so bad. Baker played bad football in this
But
one.
yeah, Baker was off. He was throwing
Very
everything
off.
over receivers' heads, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you wash your hands of that one. Igbukah should be fantastic going forward with no Mike Evans in the picture, especially if Godwin misses more time.
Shout out if Jake Elliott would have had a better week, this might be the highest points from a kicker and defense combined for like two teams in one matchup.
That's true. This game was won in the trenches. Yeah, I agree, Jake Elliott. You give that man like 12 points, and all of a sudden your defense and kickers
Yeah, it could be
between
record
both
book.
teams. That's not something I'm ever gonna track.
There's no way.
Oh man, Lemon side of the ball. Dak was great. DK, fine. God, honestly, he was disappointing with how many points the Steelers scored. Aaron Rodgers had a good week. DK was like the only pass catcher on Pittsburgh that was bad. I think their tight ends blew up. And there's your guy, Rashee Rice, back from the dead. 7 catches, only 42 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns to cap it off. He's back.
We talked about the 16-point projection feeling really high, which
Yeah,
it did feel high for his first game back, but he
it was high.
easily
I
covers
stand by it.
that.
It was
Yeah.
bad projection,
Yeah.
but damn, he's just good at football. So,
Very
Ashton
true.
Genty got washed away by the Chiefs and game scripted out. He'll be fine. Judkins bounced back against the really bad Miami Dolphins. Trey McBride slayed Green Bay, but couldn't get the win. And Isaiah Pacheco had not too bad of a game in Lemons' flex. That's a big one for him because James Cook is usually that other running back, and having to start Pacheco is not usually an exciting thing. So good thing they won 31-0. So he just let it rip, had a touchdown. Benches were pretty barren. We talked about Jake Ferguson and Travis Hunter already, and Hawkinson was solid. Cool. All right, good win for Lemons in the matchup of the week. Fab has been dispersed. George is slowly creeping his way back up in Fab. I think he has 6 now. 2 weeks in a row, he's been right. Yeah. We got Greg and Cade here. This is just a worse version of Lemons and Nick. Cade's team, yeah, no. Cade's team had like 3 good players. Jared Goff was bad. He was low-key Jared Goof. I guess Tampa's defense looked pretty good. They turned the ball over a ton. Whatever. JSN is that guy. He's a freak.
Yeah.
If you didn't already, you should have, but if you didn't think about him already as a top echelon, I'll say, wide receiver in the NFL, well, he is. I didn't want to say top 5 because there's so many really, really good guys, and he might be in there, but it's tough. I mean, obviously, Chase and Jefferson, and then some people consider Amon-Ra up there, CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, that group of people, JSN's right up with them, man. He's cooking. Nico Collins got a little banged up, wasn't great. Saquon, I don't know what to do with Saquon. I mean, you have to keep starting him, right? Especially Cade. He doesn't really have another option. So you take you take your punches and hope that they can figure it out. Cam Scadaboo. Oh, man. Did you see the play where he scored his touchdown and the defender was in the end zone like 3 yards deep? And
Yeah,
instead
I
of
did
like
see
celebrating, Scadaboo just lowers his shoulder and barrels through the guy.
Yeah. That's the most Scadaboo play
It
we have,
is.
pretty much.
It's hilarious. Oh man, if you guys haven't seen that, go back and watch it. It's really funny. Dude, he is the definition of CTE. If someone animated CTE in like a kid's football thing to like educate people on CTE, they just show Cam Scadaboo. That guy's a monster.
I know even in like college, he had some clips like that, which were like he's clearly about to score, and the defenders like easing off of him pretty much, and then he just like averts his direction from the end zone to the guy right next to him and just literally just slams into him for no reason, just because.
He's a human wrecking ball, man. It's funny.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. It adds some juice to the game. Now, is his career going to be 2.5 years long? Yes. Am I going to love every second of it? Yes. So,
is Cade going to keep him? Yes. Absolutely.
Because he must have been drafted pretty late. Was he even drafted? He was. Oh, 10th round, higher than I thought.
Yeah, he was drafted.
Yeah,
he was shopping around him for a little bit, and I was like semi-interested, but I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to keep him anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily a hater of Scadaboo, but I wasn't necessarily feeling like wanting to trade for him at this point. But I'm not surprised that Cade would want to. He's been playing well this year. He's gonna get value out of that pick no matter what.
Oh yeah, yeah. His health's his only concern. Protect the head and the neck, man.
Yeah.
Kelsey was not going to kill you, but I think this is kind of what you're going to expect from him going forward with all the pass catchers back for Kansas City. T. Higgins was a dog. Cincinnati cooked. Joe Flacco, by the way.
I think Joe Flacco is actually a very elite quarterback.
It's crazy. Dude leaves Cleveland. This actually makes the Packers game feel a lot better for me against the Bengals. I was not very excited to see that we barely beat Joe Flacco and the Bengals when he came to town. But watching them beat Pittsburgh like this makes me think that maybe the Bengals are good with Joe Flacco and it's just a Cleveland problem, which makes total sense. Everything's always just a Cleveland problem. If you can blame it on them, you should, because it's probably true. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for Bengals fans that had just a couple weeks of not having Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco, and they had this weird stretch where they decided that their backup could do something and keep them alive, and that fans should still show up, but it wasn't worth it. And I know they talked about Malik Willis. I get it. They got Flacco. It's cheaper since he's older, and he's still he's playing super well. That was probably my favorite game to watch this week.
Yeah. It was just an entertaining game, man.
Other than DK, I think it was DK that basically gave the defender a pass that was perfectly in his hands and had Rodgers' second interception of the game. And I was sitting there trying to.
It was.
That was pain. But T. Higgins with the play of the game, also the sliding at the 5-yard line instead of scoring a touchdown to ice the game off that game-winning field goal at the end. So, yeah, he had a great game. The Bengals are potentially back. And that's probably why Lamar has really no choice but to come back, because the division's starting to get a lot better. Steelers have been playing well this year.
It's crazy.
This is a really tough loss for them, but
one Browns trade can just totally flip that division and leave Cleveland at the bottom. Cleveland wasn't the worst team in the division, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did see Mike Tomlin. Yeah, that was
so
hilarious.
He's so mad.
As he should be,
it.
In all honesty. Because who else does that? Literally no other team in the league would do that. Not even Jerry Jones, I don't think, would trade a quarterback to a division rival. Yeah, that's crazy.
I guarantee you, if the Eagles weren't in the same division as the Cowboys, Micah would be – the Eagles were going to send a lot. They were going to send more than us for – Micah Parsons, but
you can't put him
he's not going to trade in division. There's no way. Yeah, it was weird enough that he traded in the same conference. Nobody can talk about that, but yeah, a quarterback of all positions do it.
Insane.
It's insane.
It's very Cleveland. So that it's good for the sport. give some people stuff to talk about. And Greg's side of the ball, oh man, this is a life alert for Greg. This could have been so bad. Keenan Allen and Jahmyr Gibbs saved his life in this game, Jake, because nobody else had more than 10 points, and his defense had negative points. Baker was trash. Jalen Waddle was trash. Keenan Allen and Gibbs were dogs. And Jahmyr Gibbs, oh my goodness, he got tackled. Someone caught up to him on one of those big long plays. Could have had even more points, man. Kyron was kind of bad. He hasn't been getting the touchdowns this year. They've all been going to Devontae, and he was kind of scripted out of that game with a big lead. Darren Waller strained his pec, got put on IR. Goose. Travis Etienne, bad. Chris Boswell, not too bad for a kicker, but still sub 10 points. Jackson, it's brutal, man. Daniel Jones, the bench was pretty darn good. Daniel Jones, might be in the lineup for a little bit. I don't know. Baker's been very solid. It's tough to put him back on the bench, but he's missing some weapons. They play the Saints, so you could probably fire him up. It'll be much more of a decision between him and Daniel Jones going forward, I think. This was a nightmare for Greg. Brock Communities Credit Union. I feel like ever since you switched over to the credit union, Greg, you've been having problems. Wasn't he like 3-1 to start the year?
Yeah, no, his team was good. We kind of talked about how it was like it felt like it was just his keepers that were insane, and then I wasn't a huge fan of the rest of his team, but the quarterback situation, other than this week's been perfect for him, and kind of an unlucky stretch. Like you can't predict both your tight ends being out. He was gonna. Actually, I can't even say that. I was gonna say he was gonna lose this game no matter what. No, he wasn't. This was very winnable.
Yeah.
And his team's still in a fine spot, but you got to do something. I don't know. He's been involved with trades already this year.
Oh, yeah.
May have to make a decision in the next couple of weeks.
I was mistaken. He basically has won and lost every other week. He's been right around 500. I think that's 2 losses in a row for the first time this year. But, yeah, and 2 bad losses, too. 105 this week, 106 last week. And Lemons had basically the same score. I mean, when your opponent scores sub 120, you got to be winning.
Yeah.
Tough. All right. We have one more, don't we? Brandon and George, sorry.
Yep.
Dub. So Brandon totally should have lost this game. I was watching. We were flipping between this and the Packer game. I think that was going on, right? This was a 3:00 game, right? The Broncos. I want to say it was. It was.
Yeah. Yep.
And I assume everybody's heard of this at this point. I think Bo Nix had like 2 points or something at halftime of this game. Brandon was dead, right? Everybody else in this matchup is kind of irrelevant. Once that fourth quarter hit, magic, Jake. It was insane. Yeah. Bo Nix ended up the #1 quarterback on the week, and he had to have had less than 10 points going into the fourth quarter. Dude had 41. Won Brand the matchup just barely. Cortland Sutton, nice, good game. You know, Bijan fine, Javonte, yeah, great. Yeah, but everybody was fine, right? Georgia's side of the ball, it was generally disappointing, but A.J. Brown and Matt Stafford kept it afloat. Georgia's team was Greg's, but on a higher level. And I don't know, man. Bo Nix. I don't understand how you can look like a shitty quarterback all game long and then just look elite. I don't know if this is good.
I don't either.
It's good for the Believers, right? It's got to be.
I remember I definitely said Caleb Williams against the Saints this weekend. Yeah, that's wow.
Yeah, it didn't go great.
Doesn't make sense. No. But I can't remember. Was this one what was the last game played in this matchup?
It would have
there's
been...
a Monday. Oh no, yeah,
there were 2
Rachaad
Monday
White.
games. Yeah, Rachaad White, who just was disappointing.
Yeah.
It's a bummer for George. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm kind of happy to see it. Yeah,
It
Justin
would like
Jefferson.
I think the more chaos would have been Brandon's team losing because Brandon's team's better and having to decide what to do again, and George having to decide what to do if he wins that game. Like
Yeah,
would he have changed his name away from Team for Sale if he wins
probably
this
not,
game?
but he probably would have
Just
been going in, right?
yeah,
Hmm. Justin Jefferson had a pretty bad game for his standards. I've been hearing whispers that JJ McCarthy's going to be back somewhat soon. I worry about Jefferson when McCarthy's back. He's a stud, and his floor is probably around what he had, right? I mean, you're talking 10, 12 points is probably his floor, right? But
yeah.
the
I don't
ceiling is
know.
limited.
If I were a Vikings fan, I would be just so bummed that everybody was kind of already talking about do we keep Darnold?
Yeah,
They had Danny Dimes on the roster
they
too.
both those guys.
Like
They both
all you can
leave, and they're
do
both
is
dogs.
honestly, you just kind of want to hope you don't want to see McCarthy play because if he plays bad, that's all you're gonna be thinking about. At this point, you could still be like, "Though JJ McCarthy, we don't know yet. He's
Yeah,
something." But with Carson Wentz, we have Carson Wentz, and
yeah.
it's not
You have
a,
mid
a
quarterback
successful
play.
Justin Jefferson.
No. Oh boy. The benches were pretty uneventful. Charbonnet had 2 touchdowns, but otherwise was just as efficient as Kenneth Walker. Tony Pollard is fine. And carry on, I guess. All right, let's get into the juicy stuff. Standings. We've got Manthai all alone at the top. Over 1,100 points for already is insane.
Yeah.
And Nick's right behind him with 1,000. I mean, there's still a 100-point gap there. But Nick at 5-2 and Cade at 5-2, you see that there's a whole different tier of team there. So everybody else is sitting in the 800s for the most part. Brandon 2-5, tough at 900.
Yeah, that's brutal. Yeah, Brandon, we are 3-4, 2-5. We are not the same.
Yeah, no, we're not the same. You're closer to George.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
barely above George right now.
I knew you were gonna beat me this week after, once the weekend came, and I couldn't do anything about it, man. My team just wasn't doing it. So, big win for Jake. Yeah, so Lemon's 4-3, only team sitting in 4th. We have a handful of teams fighting for those last 2 playoff spots. Myself, Greg, Lane, and yourself. And then we have Brandon and George in the caboose. George deserves it. Brandon does not. Players of the week, Bo Nix, Brandon's team, 41 about. Running back, Christian McCaffrey, hello, sir, 42.1 on Nick's team. Jamar Chase, wide receiver, 42.1 as well. Same exact score. Kind of funny. Jake, your team.
Wow. Boom.
Welcome to the NFL, Oronde Gadsden,
Absolute stud.
33.4. Free agent. I believe I picked him up. It's nice.
Stuff.
I'm not actually sure. I picked him up in a lot of leagues. I don't know if this was one of them. We'll see in the transaction. I'm sure somebody did.
I wasn't sure what to expect out of Gadsden. I grabbed him and threw him on the Taxi and Dynasty, and I was excited about him, but at the same time, I've always rostered rookie tight ends, and they usually never do much.
He
generally,
looks
a guy like
awesome.
that, but yeah, he looks great, and I just had to take him off the Taxi this week because Laporte is on bye. So, but I'm actually happy to do so. I was actually expecting someone to try to steal him off my Taxi squad
Oh,
pretty soon
fair.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but it's a new rule in Dynasty for anybody who's not
It
in the
is.
Dynasty League, but
The thing about Gadsden,
we'll see.
he looks awesome. He fits the part, right? I worry for fantasy. It's not going to be this every week, obviously, right? But with that many mouths to feed in LA, you have to think that he's going to have good games and he's going to have bad games because there's just not enough targets to go around. I mean, it helps when Herbert probably threw like 50-something passes this past week, but normally,
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Lat McConkey, Keenan Allen's been very involved, Quentin Johnston's been very involved, and then you've got Gadsden. And the fourth option when they're your tight end isn't usually good for fantasy. I don't know if I could ever pick one out that is successful in that case. So for me, if he wants to stay consistent, he's got to pass one of those guys. And I don't know if I see that happening, barring injury. Maybe he could pass Keenan Allen, right? Because he's old and decrepit. But otherwise, I think he can absolutely have good games. And that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be putting up 4 points every week. But yeah, 33.4, very impressive. I think I'd be thinking somewhere between like the 8 to 14 is probably going to be more his speed, which is still good.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens next year.
Take it.
Keenan Allen might not be on the team. Who knows? Maybe they trade Quinn Johnston, or I don't know when his contract's up. It's got to be coming up somewhat soon.
A lot of confusion around the order of operations
Well,
for the
and
wide receivers there.
And the Chargers not being able to run the ball with all their injuries. I mean,
yeah, Marion Hampton, we got to see them at full health. But
right?
Vlad McConkey is disappointed so far from his ADP for sure.
Yeah, he's been doing much better the past few weeks, but he had a really bad start. He's gonna have to keep going to make up for it. And I don't know if he'll ever make up for it for his ADP. He was drafted pretty high. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Kicker, Will Reichard, 18. He was a free agent as well. I believe he got scooped up. And the Cleveland defense.
Nick, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds right. We'll see in the transactions. I didn't write that one down, unfortunately. Cleveland's defense on Nick's team had 26, so huge for Nick. He had 2 of the 4 non-free agent top scorers. Preston surprisingly had none, and he put up 181.
Just a good team.
Yeah, all around domination. All right, speaking of transactions, let's take a peek because there were plenty of them. We had, this is all, okay, good. We had a trade on the 16th, I think is still, yeah, that was after the rewind. All right, so Cade and George made a trade. Cade acquired T. Higgins and then gave up a 7th, received a 10th, which to me is really good value for T. Higgins. Hindsight's 2020, he had a great week, but yeah, with Joe Flacco there, it seems like that could be something. T. Higgins could be back. So Cade did not give up much to get T. Higgins, and that should help him out going forward. Couple cuts. Another trade. Preston and Jake. This is Manthai acquiring Devontae Adams and giving you a 6th and 14th. Seems fine.
Yeah. I mean, at one point I was probably hoping for like a 4th, just straight up for Devontae, but then I realized if I'm not going to keep him, I'd rather just get a trade done. Yeah.
Is this a partial tank job from you here, Jake? Obviously not full on tank.
It's partial.
Starting to lean into it.
Partial tank job, or is it supporting the rest of my receiver core? I don't know.
trying to let the young guys get some minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. Free up some space.
Yeah, for Matthew Golden. Can't have a vet like Devontae Adams questioning,
I was talking to Cade for Devontae Adams at one point, and I think we almost made a deal done. We almost had a deal, and then I think I was stuck. I think I was asking for, I can't remember if it was a 4th or 5th, something like that. We were just kind of close, and then he got T. Higgins from George, so then I pulled the trigger on Preston. So, I mean, maybe I could have gotten a little bit slightly more value, but I mean, at this point,
yeah, it's fine.
It's cool with me.
If you're not going to keep him and you don't think you're going to compete this year, that's totally a good trade.
Yeah.
Even if you are going to compete this year, you beat me without him, you bastard.
Still a chance, yeah.
I made a trade with George. I gave him Khalil Shakir in a 13th for Woody Marks in a 16th. I needed a running back so badly, and I didn't start Woody Marks, but I could have. He had a good week. I'm thinking that after the bye, he's going to be more involved on this team, and they desperately need him. Potential keeper, I guess. I don't know if he was he drafted? That's a good question. No. So probably won't keep him. Could though at ADP is the new rule. But yeah, I just needed a depth piece, and Khalil Shakir wasn't ever going to start for me. So a little late round pick swap. Justin Fields got picked up by Nick Payne. Cade got Isaiah Likely. He must be back. Yeah. Not really doing much, at least not with Lamar. But hey, we had another trade. Preston acquired Justin Jefferson from George for a first and a third. That's fair trade, man. That's what you got to give up for Jefferson.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Jefferson's really going to help Preston that much this year. Maybe he will. It depends on the quarterback, right? Because Jefferson's great, but I don't know.
This one kind of confused me, just because we all were aware of how many different trade conversations were happening around Justin Jefferson and who was interested in him and what George wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I like what George got. And I also, I mean, for Preston, I get it too. But I don't know. Preston's team, Justin Jefferson this year, of all the elite tier receivers,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the one you want to go all in on this year. Like, he obviously talked to me about CD and Jamar Chase, and I didn't budge. So that's probably why he did that. But he can't trade for Puka when he already has him. So whatever. He could have traded for like JSN or something like that. But I think
Yeah.
he wanted that prestige around Justin Jefferson's name.
Well, and you can say, I don't know if that gets it done for JSN. Actually, I kind of doubt it. I think JSN's more valuable than Jefferson this year for fantasy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
super
I don't know if the
value too. I don't
JSN
remember what
owner's
round.
gonna. Well, Jefferson
don't
was
know.
kept. JSN was probably a first or second round pick.
That's true.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think this is a fine trade. You know, Puka's banged up.
Yeah.
You need it. If Preston feels he has to get it to succeed, then hey, there you go. Oh, he added players to his trading list. I did not see this. I didn't know this was a thing on Yahoo.
I was trying to read that and I was so confused.
Zay
I don't know
Flowers,
why.
Breece Hall, Jordan Addison, Devontae Adams trade. So he just put all these guys on the block.
I thought I was looking at the trade. I didn't see Justin Jefferson down below. So I saw Devontae and I was like, wait, did he trade Devontae for Justin Jefferson? I was about to say his receivers are so stacked, and then I was like, wait, he lost Devontae? No, he just has all of these receivers, and I guess he's doing what in Dynasty he likes the idea of roster as many good players as possible. Don't trade them away. Keep them so you never have to go against them. And I guess we'll see how that goes. But yeah.
There was one last trade that went down yesterday between myself and Greg. Greg approached me for one of my two Carolina running backs and offered me Keon Coleman in a 10th for my choice of the Carolina running back. So I decided to believe in the backup, Rico Dowdle. I think Hubbard had 65% of snaps and Dowdle had like 45%. So it was basically 50-50 split. See what happens. But I feel like a 10th and Keon. I don't really care about Keon Coleman. I just wanted the 10th, I guess, because I'm not keeping Chuba, and I don't think I'm starting him over Dowdle. So I'm crossing my fingers that doesn't bite me, but I think it was too good a value to pass up for a team with my record.
Yeah, I like that trade for both teams, actually. Greg's team's obviously, what's his record? And I already forgot, but he's like in the top
3 and 4. I think it's the same as mine, same as ours.
Oh yeah, everybody's got so many people have 3 and 4. Okay. Yeah, just got to get the extra little push.
Yep, he's trying to separate his team.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, get some guy who you can chuck in and he'll get you 10 points reliably and call her a day. Oh, I did get Gadsden. Got him for 4 fab and nobody else bid. Fine with that. No problems here. So, yeah, if you need a tight end, HMU. Brandon got the LA defense. Jackson Fart got picked up by Cade for $3. Cade Otten got scooped up by Greg. That's a good pickup. He needed a tight end because he has no Bowers and he had Waller on his team. And he's on the IR now, too. Monungai got picked up by Nick. Good pickup. He's been solid. Michael Carter got cut. I don't blame you, man. I think I cut him in a different league, too. I mean, Trey Benson will be back sooner than later, and Michael Carter is not the starter. Fab offers... Oh, I take it back. Gadsden was bid on by George for 0 fab.
Now that he finally has fab,
He doesn't spend it. He would have had to... Actually, he couldn't afford Gadsden because I don't,
you're right.
I don't add the fab until the show starts. I do like
wow,
right before the show.
George. I'm just kidding.
Low key.
That'd be hilarious if he threw $3 and he's like, I wanted to throw 6, but he didn't. And then Oh, that would have been fun.
If somebody ever
Yeah.
needs the fab, let me know. I can do it earlier, but I always just do it right before the show because it's kind of it's a system for me. Keeps my timing consistent. So, yeah. If somebody needs it though, technically you've earned it already. So, HMU. Although I don't think George was, based on the fact he bid 0, I don't think he's bidden 6. All right, that's transactions. Plenty of them in this show. Matchup previews. We can fly through these quick. We've got me versus Greg to kick us off. I feel okay about this matchup, if I'm going to be honest. My quarterback situation is the thing I'm worried the most about. Justin Herbert had a great week last week. Minnesota's tough defense to go up against. Jaden Daniels is out. He was announced out. I thought about picking somebody up, but I don't know. I just roll with Justin Herbert. He's been pretty good. Let's just send it. So I'll probably stick with that.
So yeah, when you said you feel okay in this matchup, I think you can just look over at Greg's bench and see Jahmyr Gibbs there, and that'll make you feel great about this matchup.
And Kyron, yeah, it
and
does
Kyron,
feel good.
Yeah.
And Brock Bowers on bye and out. Yeah, Greg's team is struck down by the buys this week.
Yep.
This is a good week to play Greg, so hopefully I can get a win here because this is a big matchup actually for the playoffs. It's a must win. Greg set his lineup. He's projected for under 100, so I'm gonna need this one. Baker, I feel like he'll probably outperform that projection. He's only scored sub 17 once this year. So I think he'll be fine. London Waddle, cool. Allen and Pity City, sure. Dowdle Hubbard, wash. Chase Brown, Tracy, wash. Warren over Otten, but I like Otten. Olave, Garrett Wilson, sure. Yeah, I mean, Yahoo likes my team quite a bit more, but I don't know, man. It's kind of a toss-up. In my eyes, at least. I don't think anybody on my bench is in consideration unless like Ricky Pearsall plays. Maybe I'll throw him in, but he's got a tough matchup, so I think I'd like for him to ride the pine for another week. You've got my team, Jake. I'm obligated to take mine as well, so 2 for me. All right, moving on. Nick and George, do we need to talk about this one? He's starting Khalil Shakir, Tony Pollard, Hunter Henry. If Lamar plays, it'll be big for George. If Lamar doesn't play, he has to pick up a quarterback, so he'll be in trouble. Nick's team is pretty unharmed from buys. Yeah, I've got Nick. I don't really want to talk about this one anymore.
I've got Nick as well.
Nick's team is disgusting, and it's totally fine. His team's healthy. I mean, you can cut Justin Fields. He's projected for 6 points. Oh, that's kind of insulting. Yeah, I mean, he can cut Fields, pick up whoever he wants. He should pick. Really, if I were Nick, if Nick listens to this show before George, I would cut Fields and pick up some other whatever the best quarterback is available in case Lamar doesn't play. And then George will not be able to play that guy. That's some strategy. I'm always in on that kind of stuff. Realistically, you might be able to do that for like Jaden Blue too, unless you want the handcuff, I guess. But yeah, this time of year, you're making moves to buy some wins, right? So a savvy manager would probably do that. Cade and Lemons both needing some players in the lineup here. In marquee matchup. That's this game, Jake.
Ooh.
The marquee matchup is here. This is a pretty big game as far as playoff implications go. Cade made some moves. I looked at who both of them have on their bench. Lemons will throw James Cook in there, obviously, and probably Hawkinson. So tack on, 23 points or so. The Lemons projection, you're gonna get him right around 107. Call it 110. And on Cade's team, you chuck a defense in there, and he's around the same spot, 106, 107 probably. So, yeah, this should be at the end of the day, the projection should be pretty close. Both teams have guys missing, likely between Debo and Terry on Lemons' team potentially out again. And JSN on bye for Cade is a huge deal. Had to pick up Jackson Dart to start him this week, who has been good for fantasy. He's been running plenty. But, Philly's defense has the potential to be great. So relying on a rookie quarterback is always stressful. I feel like it should be a good matchup here. I honestly don't know who to pick. You take Dak over Dart, even with the matchup, I think. It's close, though, I guess. Nico and Metcalf. If Nico even plays, is he concussion, did not practice on Wednesday? I'd be probably planning for life without him, in which case Quentin Johnston's probably in, who is fine. But I'd take...
Even if he does play, San Francisco's been an inspired defense.
That's true.
Even with all of their injuries. So
yeah,
I think his projection's a little high either way.
I agree. 16 is tough, and Nico can always do it. But if I were projecting him, it's probably closer to what DK's at. If it's me, and DK is playing the Packers, who have been giving it up a little bit for the passing game. Aaron Rodgers' revenge game.
I'm already fearing a Calvin Austin 125 yard game.
It does reek of Green Bay's defense there, doesn't it?
That's all I can see in my head.
I'll take Rasheed over T. Higgins this week, but it's close. Genty's on bye, but James Cook will be in there. I'll take James Cook over Saquon. Scadaboo and Judkins I'm going to call that a wash. I think Judkins is more talented, but the matchup leans more towards Scadaboo. And tight end, I'll call a wash. Maybe you lean Kelsey. I'll take Wandale over Pacheco, but honestly, who cares?
Almost has to check his matchup for Thursday for Hawkinson, looks like.
Oh, true. Yeah, that would be a bummer to have him on the bench. Although, low-key, the tight ends on the waiver wire could be okay.
He could find someone.
I think I'm going to go with... Oh, man. This is a tough one, Jake. I'm gonna make you do it first.
I've got Lemons.
I took Lemons last week, and it bit me in the ass. I've got Cade. I just realized it's a Saquon revenge game. I think he might have a bounce back week this week.
Yeah, the Giants embarrassed the Eagles last time they played in what 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, is that funny? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. So that Cade has a lot of pieces hinging on that game between Scadaboo, Dart, and Saquon, and Wandale. A lot of Giants. I don't know how I'd feel about that if I were Cade. That's scary. It could be fantastic. It could be detrimental. Yeah, that's a split one right there. First one. Brandon and Laner. Bo Nix is still in the lineup, and this week I support the shit out of it because he's playing Dallas, and it seems like everybody can do what they want on Dallas. Jordan Love, I don't know what Lane's options are for quarterback, but Kyler, and he's on bye. I guess you're firing up Jordan Love. If Flacco or someone like that's on the waiver wire, I'd probably pick him up, potentially start him over Love. I have no problems with Love, but he just hasn't been it the past couple weeks for fantasy. So might have to see if we can give him some time to figure stuff out there. I'll take Ted over Worthy. Sutton and Smith, I'll call a toss-up. I think I lean Sutton. Devonta Smith had a huge week last week, but Sutton's been pretty darn good, other than a couple duds here and there. And like I said, it's Dallas. Achane over Warren. Oh, I'll take Derrick Henry over Javonte, which might be a little controversial. Just, I don't know, Denver's tough matchup and Chicago's not. So I think Derrick Henry will be back, especially if Lamar plays. If Lamar plays, big time, because that changes that offense. Harold Fannin, nice. Although I think Njoku's back, so meh. Dalton Kincaid has been surprisingly solid. I lean Kincaid in this one, assuming he plays. I see he's questionable. And Bijan, obviously, you take over basically anybody in the league. I'll go Brandon here.
I am also going to go Brandon in this one.
Nice. Anybody on the bench worth talking about? You could throw Kyle Pitts in Miami against Miami over Harold Fannin, in all honesty. I don't think I'd do anything. Jaden Daniels is out, so you're probably not playing Zach Ertz, but it's tempting, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, the one we were looking for, Jake. You versus Manthai. You're going to get clapped, dude. How's Preston's team? Oh, he doesn't have kicker or defense in. So if he cuts Jake Bates and doesn't change his team name, should I just dock 20 points off of his score?
Yes, that's fair.
Okay,
I
I just wanted to make
accept that.
sure. Yeah, all right. I'm glad we're all clear on that. So Mahomes has been feasting, and he plays Washington. Jaden Daniels lists Washington, so he might be benched at halftime. Zay Flowers plays Chicago. He needs Lamar back. Jefferson plays the Chargers. I wouldn't be super excited about that Thursday night. Yeah, it's kind of scary, but you can't bench him. So JT plays Tennessee. Oh, God. He's going to have another 3 touchdowns in that game.
Oh, yeah, he is. That's brutal.
Josh Jacobs, you're playing if he's in. Tucker Kraft, you're playing. Breece Hall, you can't bench him against Cincinnati, right? But at the same time, I really don't want to play him. Yeah, he doesn't have any other options. Breece Hall's in. Your side of the ball, Jalen Hurts, fire him up against the Giants. Jamar Chase, always. CeeDee Lamb, always. Bill Krosky, I'd be trying to bench, but I don't. Looking at your lineup, Jake.
No. Not a lot of running back options for me.
Yeah, I I don't see any running back options. So I guess you're firing him up. Temper expectations. You're hoping for 8 points, in my opinion. If he scores, he'll be fine, right? It's that kind of week for him.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason. I heard Aaron Jones might play this week.
Fun.
Yeah. Mason Taylor.
Well, short week, so hopefully he's not ready yet. Rest up, Aaron Jones. Got to get healthy.
Mason Taylor plays Cincinnati, so you're probably playing him. But also, Juwan Johnson finally had a good week last week again.
Finally benched him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I feel like you need this.
The biggest thing to remember is we're dead.
If I win this, I'm so back.
Yeah, actually, because there's no chance in hell I'm picking you to win this game.
This could come down to me picking between the Eagles defense and the Packers defense. And I've been doing that wrong the last couple of weeks. But
Yeah, I'm doing everything I can to not play the Packers defense against Pittsburgh. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I like the Eagles defense more. They're at home. Giants have been electric lately, but still. Can they do it to the Eagles twice? All right, Jake, do you have yourself?
Got to do it.
All right.
Got to do it.
That's what I like to hear. That's all the matchups. I guess we're doing some roasts. Are you ready?
Yes.
Sweet. All right, we're starting with Nick. Nick, losing with McCaffrey on your team should count for 2 losses. Hang your head in shame just like Justin Fields did last weekend in your lineup.
I was so ready, and you said in your lineup.
Oh, I
at
got
the
you.
end, I held the button, and then once I held the button, it disappeared. I was like, God damn it! That in your lineup got me. If
That's
you listen
funny.
to that one back, I was holding on to the button. I didn't interrupt you with the button, but it was a
That's
delay.
okay. That's
Love
okay, Jake. I forgive you.
it.
that was my bad.
That's all good.
All right, Greg. The only thing standing between your team and the type of roast that Jake has been getting this past few weeks is old man Keenan Allen and Jahmyr Gibbs saving your ass.
Boom. Roasted.
George, I don't know what sucks more, your team or your trade offers.
Boom. Roasted.
Oh,
The biggest thing to remember is
we're dead. Yeah, he is actually dead.
Got a lot of them.
I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody's come back from 1-6, man. All right, last one, Laner. Dude, I hope that Preston at least had the decency to buy you dinner before pounding you like that.
Boom. Roasted.
That's what I like to hear.
Good stuff.
Jake, good luck to everybody this week except for Greg and Manti.
Manti. Yep.
Well, all right. That about does it for this week's show. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Let's see if there are any more trades, and credit unions are bad. See you guys.